Boys and girls, happy Tuesday. As you can see, I'm reading to you from outside again, and I'm actually on the swing that Ella got. She got it for Christmas, but we finally got to put it up um, back in March. So I thought it'd be fun to read from the swing today, and I'll try not to swing too much because I know that might make you some of you kind of sick. So first of all, I want to give a birthday shout out to Reed. It is Reed's summer birthday. His birthday is exactly, let's see, I think it's June. So exactly 2 months from now. Um, so happy summer birthday to Reed. It might be July. I can't remember. So Reed, happy early birthday. And we're going to go ahead and hop into the BFG with our read aloud. So, where we ended last week, Sophie said she had an idea that they would go tell the queen about all of the other giants. And the BFG was saying he's sure that the queen wouldn't do anything, wouldn't help them. And so that's where we ended. Okay? But we aren't going to tell her, Sophie said excitedly. We don't have to tell her. We'll make her dream it. That is an even more froth-bungling suggestion, the BFG said. Dreams is lots of fun, but nobody is believing in dreams either. You is only believing in a dream while you is actually dreaming it. But as soon as you is waking up, you is actually saying, oh, thank goodness, it was only a dream. Don't you worry about that part of it, Sophie said. I can fix that. Never can you fix it, the BFG said. I can. I swear I can. But first of all, let me ask you a very important question. Here it is. Can you make a person dream about absolutely anything in the world? Anything you like, the BFG said proudly. If I said I wanted to dream that I was flying in a bathtub with silver wings, could you make me dream it? I could, the BFG said. But how? Sophie asked. You obviously don't have exactly that dream in your collection. I do not, the BFG said, but I could soon be mixing it up. How could you mix it up? Well, it's a little bit like mixing a cake, the BFG said. If you was putting in the right amounts of all different things into it, you is making the cake come out any way you want. Sugary, spongy, curranty, Christmassy, or grobswitchy. It's all the same with dreams. Go on, Sophie said. Tell me more. I has a dillions of dreams on my shelves, right or left? Right, Sophie said. I has dreams about bathtubs, lots of them. I has dreams about silver wings. I has dreams about flying. So all I has to do is mix those dreams together in the proper way, and I is very quickly making a dream where you is flying in a bathtub with silver wings. I see what you mean, Sophie said. But I didn't know you could mix one dream with another. Dreams like being mixed, the BFG answered. They is getting very lonesome all by themselves in those glassy bottles. Right, Sophie said. Now then, do you have dreams about the Queen of England? Lots of them, the BFG said. And about giants? Sophie asked. Of course, the BFG said. And about giants eating people? Sophie asked. Swiggles of them, the BFG said. And how about little girls like me? Oh, those is commonest of all, the BFG said. I has bottles and bottles of dreams about little girls. Okay, I want you guys to stop and make a prediction in your head right now. Where do you think Sophie is going with all of these questions about dreams? Okay, be thinking about that in your head as I continue reading. And you can mix them all up just as I want you to, Sophie asked, getting more and more excited. Of course, the BFG said. But how is this helping us? I think you is barking up the wrong tree. Now hold on, Sophie said. Listen carefully. I want you to mix a dream which you will blow into the Queen of England's bedroom when she is asleep. And this is how it will go. Now, hang on a minute, the BFG said. How is I possibly going to get near enough to the Queen of England's bedroom to blow my dream? You is talking dumb silly. Oh, I'll tell you that stuff later, Sophie said. For the moment, just please listen carefully. Here is the dream I want you to mix. Are you paying attention? Very close, the BFG said. Okay, I want the Queen to dream that 9 disgusting giants, each one about 50 feet tall, are galloping to England in the night. She must dream their names as well. What are their names again? Sophie asked. Flesh Lump Eater, the BFG said, Man Hugger, Bone Cruncher, Child Chewer, Meat Dripper, Gizzard Gulper, Maid Masher, Blood Bottler, and the Butcher Boy. Yes, let her dream all of those names, Sophie said, and let her dream that they will be creeping into England in the depths of the witching hour and snatching little boys and little girls from their beds. Let her dream that they will be reaching into the bedroom windows and pulling the little boys and girls out of their beds, and then... Sophie paused. Do they eat them on the spot, or do they carry them away first? She asked. These usually just popping them straight into their mouths like popcorn, the BFG answered. Put that in the dream then, Sophie said, and then the dream must say that when their tummies are full, they will go galloping back to giant country where no one can find them. Is that all? The BFG asked. Oh, certainly not, Sophie said. You must then explain to the Queen in her dream that there is a big friendly giant who can tell her where all those beasts are living, so that she can send her soldiers and armies to capture them once and for all. And now let her dream one last and very important thing. Let her dream that there is a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill who will tell her where the big friendly giant is hiding. Where is he hiding? Asked the BFG. Oh, we'll come to that later, Sophie said. So the Queen dreams her dream, right? Right, the BFG said. Then she wakes up, and first thing she thinks is, oh, what a horrid dream. I'm so glad it was only a dream. And then she looks up from their pillow, and what does she see? What does she see? The BFG asked. She sees a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill, right there in real life before her eyes. How is you going to be sitting on the Queen's windowsill, may I beg? The BFG asked. You are going to put me there, Sophie said. And that's the lovely part about it. If someone dreams that there is a little girl sitting on her windowsill, and then she wakes up and sees that the little girl is really sitting there, that is a dream come true, is it not? I is beginning to see where you is driving to, the BFG said. If the Queen is knowing that that part of her dream is true, then perhaps she is believing the rest of it is true as well. Think about it, Sophie said, but I shall have to convince her of it myself. You said you is wanting the dream to say there's a big friendly giant who is also going to talk to the Queen? The BFG asked. Absolutely, Sophie said. You must. You are the only one who can tell her where to find the other giants. How is I meeting the Queen? Asked the BFG. I is not wanting to be shooted by her soldiers. The soldiers are only in front of the palace, Sophie said. At the back there's a huge garden, and there are no soldiers in there at all. There's a very high wall with spikes all around the garden to stop people from climbing in. But you could simply walk over that. Okay, I want to check in. How were your predictions about what Sophie was doing? Did you predict correctly? If you didn't, is that a big deal? No, it's not, right? We've talked about in class, if you make predictions and they're not correct, that's okay. I just want you to be thinking about things while you're reading and making predictions to see if you're thinking correctly. How is you knowing all this about the Queen's palace? The BFG asked. Last year, I was in a different orphanage, Sophie said. I was in London, and we used to go for walks all around there. Is you helping me to find this palace? The BFG asked. I has never dared to go hiding and sneaking around London all my life. I'll show you the way, Sophie said confidently. I is frightened of London, the BFG said. Don't be, Sophie said. It's full of tiny dark streets, and there are very few people around at the witching hour. The BFG picked Sophie up in between one finger and thumb and placed her gently in the palm of his other hand. Is the Queen's palace very big? He asked. Huge, Sophie said. Then how is we finding the right bedroom? That's up to you, Sophie said. You're supposed to be an expert at that sort of thing. And you is absolutely sure that the Queen will not put me in a zoo with all those caterpillars? Oh, of course she won't, Sophie said. You'll be a hero, and you'll never have to eat a snozcumber again. Sophie saw the BFG's eyes widen, and he licked his lips. You mean it? He said. You really mean it? No more disgustive snozcumbers? You couldn't get one even if you wanted to, Sophie said. Humans don't grow them. That did it. The BFG hopped to his feet. When is you wanting me to mix up this dream? He asked. Now, Sophie said, at once. When is we going to see the Queen? He said. Tonight, Sophie said, as soon as you've mixed that dream. Tonight? The BFG cried. Why, such a flush bunkering flurry. If we can't save tonight's children, we can anyway save tomorrow's, Sophie said. What is more, I'm getting famished. And famished means hungry. She's getting very hungry because she only had snozcumbers to eat. And she doesn't like snozcumbers, so she's hungry. I haven't had a thing to eat for 24 hours, she said. Then we had better get crackling, the BFG said, moving back towards his cave. Sophie kissed him on top of his thumb. I knew you'd do it, she said. Come on, let's hurry. All right, and tomorrow we will read about Mixing the Dream. That is the next chapter title. I do want to show you guys this picture. It's the BFG holding Sophie in his hand, and that's her kissing his thumb at the end. All right, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.